question is question number 14. The question is, former colonies of Britain belong to the association known as. Former colonies of Britain belong to the association known as. Option A, we have OECD. Option B, NATO, NATO. Option C, European Union. Option D, Commonwealth. One of the organizations which every country that was colonized by Britain belonged to is an organization known as Commonwealth, which Nigeria and other members of other countries that were once colonized by Britain belong to. So the answer is option D, Commonwealth. Question is question number 15. The question is, the founding members of OPEC are. In option A, we have Algeria, Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. Option B, we have Nigeria, Libya, Iran, and Saudi Arabia. Option C, we have Venezuela, Nigeria, Libya, Iran, and Iraq. Option D, we have Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and Venezuela. Full meaning of OPEC is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. OPEC is an organization comprising 13 third world petroleum producing nations formed in 1960 to promote and protect the interests of its members. It was formed in 1960. In 1960, 5 oil producing countries met in Baghdad. The outcome of the September 10th to 14th 1960 meeting of Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and Venezuela is the formation of OPEC. Nigeria joined OPEC in 1979. The right answer is option D. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Kuwait, and Venezuela are the 5 founding members of OPEC. The right answer is option D. The next question is question number 16. The question is, in which of the following systems is the power of the component units more than that of the central government? The question is, in which of the following systems is the power of the component units more than that of the central government? In the options, we have unilateral, option A, option B, federal, option C, confederal, option D, monarchical. Unitary does not recognize any component unit, so the center controls everything. Federal recognizes component units because it's a form of government in which power is shared between the government at the center and the component units. But the government at the center is stronger than the component units. In confederal, component units are stronger than the center. Monarchical is a form of government controlled by a king or a queen. So the right answer is option C is the right answer, confederal. A good example of countries that have practiced confederal are Senegal and Gambia. Then they called them Senegambia. Next question is question number 17. The question is, a topical form of delegated legislation is. A topical form of delegated legislation is option A, an act, option B, a bill, option C, a decree, option D, a bylaw. Delegated legislation are laws made by other bodies other than the legislature. Remember that the primary function of the legislature is to make law. If other bodies made law other than the legislature, we call such law delegated legislation because they assign their responsibility to them. An act are laws made by the parliament. A bill is a proposed law waiting for the consideration of the House in order to become a law. Decrees are laws made by the military. Bylaws are laws made by the local government. So a good example of it is bylaw. Option D is a good example of it. Option D is the answer, a bylaw. This is question number 18. The question is, one judicial function performed by the executive is. The question is, one judicial function performed by the executive is. The options, we have option A, granting of amnesty. Option B, implementing judicial orders. Option C, ensuring obedience to the law. Option D, appointment of judges. We have 3 organs of government and they perform different but complementary functions. The legislature makes the law, the executive executes the law, while the judiciary interprets the law. Though it is the duty of the judiciary to say whether one committed offense or not, but the executive can as well pardon someone. So one of the judiciary functions performed by the executive is granting of amnesty by the executive. Option A is the answer. Granting of amnesty is the answer. The next question is question number 19. The question is, Nigeria spearheaded the formation of ECOWAS during the regime of. In option A, Murtala Mohammed. Option B, Yakubu Gowon. Option C, Ibrahim Babangida. Option D, Olusegun Obasanjo. ECOWAS was formed in the year 1975. The person that was governing Nigeria then was Yakubu Gowon. The Nigerian leader that spearheaded the formation of ECOWAS was Yakubu Gowon. Option B is the right answer. Yakubu Gowon. Next question is question number 20. The question is, which of the following is not a function of the police force in Nigeria? Which of the following is not a function of the police force in Nigeria? Option A, we have traffic control. Option B, arrest of criminals. Option C, making of laws. Option D, persecution of criminals. Is the duty of the Nigerian police to control traffic? Is the duty of the Nigerian police to arrest criminals? But is the duty of Nigerian police to persecute criminals as well? But it's not their duty to make laws. It's the duty of the legislature to make laws. So option C is the answer. The next question is question number 21. The question is, an intra-party activity for the selection of candidates for elective positions is known as. Option A, we have primary election. Option B, general election. Option C, midterm election. Option D, by-election. A primary election is an election conducted by political parties to choose their candidates, to choose those that will use their name to run for the election. General election is the form of election conducted in a country in which various political parties field candidates that will use their name to contest for such election. Election is a form of election conducted to fill a vacant position created by either death, court, disqualification, or impeachment or recall. Inter-election means that election within the party. So its primary election is the answer. Option A is the correct answer. Another question is question number 22. The question is, an example of a country with a flexible constitution is. An example of a country with a flexible constitution is. In the options, we have option A, South Africa, option B, Britain, option C, the United States of America, option D, Benin Republic. A flexible constitution is a constitution that you can easily amend. Constitution can as well be rigid. A rigid constitution is a constitution that you cannot amend easily. Nigeria is a good example of a country practicing a rigid constitution. Britain is a good example of a country practicing flexible constitution. Most flexible constitutions are unwritten, while most rigid constitutions are written. So B is the right answer. Britain. The next question is question number 23. It says, the NCNC and the MPC facilitated the creation of this. The question says, the NCNC and the MPC facilitated the creation of the. Option A, Midwest region. Option B, Northern region. Option C, Western region. Option D, Eastern region. NCNC means National Council of Nigeria and Cameroon. NCNC was formed in August 1944. The name later changed in 1960 when Nigeria got her independence. The name changed to National Convention of Nigerian Citizens. Herbert Macaulay was the first leader of NCNC and Nnamdi Azikiwe was the Secretary General. But when Herbert Macaulay died in 1946, Nnamdi Azikiwe became the leader of the party. MPC means Northern People's Congress. The party was founded in December 1949. The leader of MPC was Alhaji Ahmadu Bello, the Sardauna of Sokoto. The right answer is option A. The right answer is option A. NCNC and the MPC did not facilitate the creation of Northern region. They did not facilitate the creation of Western region. They did not facilitate the creation of Eastern region. The right answer is Midwest region, option A.